I'm back, and I know there's thousands of people, we talked about it during the break, that must be canceling each other's calls. So please, one at a time. The phone lines are going to be lighting up any minute now. Let me go back to Kefauver. Back in 1950, his commission went to 14 states, I think it was, and interviewed a bunch of mob people. And the result of it was the country finally acknowledged, yes, there's organized crime. Yes, organized crime is paying government officials. In other words, there's corruption on a scale that the country was not aware of until the Kefauver Commission. And it was televised, and it was one of the first major events, certainly by the government, that was televised. And people would go to theaters to see these hearings. Anyway, like I say, the big thing that came of it was awareness. The country was made aware that there was major criminal organizations on a scale unthought of before or unacknowledged before. And even J. Edgar Hoover of the FBI finally was forced to acknowledge it. And you must think about that. How is it the FBI, in their role and in their scope of national law enforcement, how could they possibly have not known about this massive criminal organization that had infiltrated the government? Well, of course they did know. And anybody, to me, that reads a real history of J. Edgar Hoover knows he was absolutely one of the biggest criminals this country's ever seen. But there was many. There was many, many, many. And there still are, if not more now than back then. So the big thing is, Donald Trump, Mr. President-elect, first of all, make us aware. Tell us the truth. You did kind of hint around at it during the election. It is a rigged system. But there's a lot more to the story. Yes, we do got to stop this open borders for many reasons. But you got to come out and tell it. You got to get the American people aware of what's really going on. Okay. We're in the third segment now, so let me switch modes from the instructions I've given to President-elect Trump and move on to this issue of question 2 and the legalization or decriminalization of marijuana. Like Ray said during his first call, the question was approved 54.5% to 45.5%, so basically 9 percentage points, which is a pretty big landslide in these terms today. Question 2 was designed to allow adults aged 21 or older to possess, consume, and cultivate some marijuana for recreational purposes. The initiative created a new 15% excise tax, with revenue from the tax being spent on enforcing the measure and schools. It also authorized and regulated marijuana retail stores, cultivation facilities, manufacturing facilities, testing facilities, and distributors. Now, the key thing I think in all that is A, 21 years or older. It was designed to allow adults to possess, consume, and cultivate some marijuana. How much is some? Well, as we go through this 16-page article I ran across on the internet, it addresses, in addition, first of all, let me read this. The measure mandated that for the first 18 months of licensing, the Department of Taxation would only accept license applications for marijuana stores, production facilities, and cultivation facilities from registered medical marijuana establishments. So they'll only, during the first 18 months, accept licensing applications from those that are already established with the medical marijuana. A lot of people were expecting on the 1st of January, bam, everything's in place. No, no, no. It's going to be a long road home for those that feel this is the right direction to go. Okay, during the same period of time, that first 18 months, only registered wholesale liquor dealers would be permitted to apply for marijuana distributor licenses. So it's going to be a very confined beginning for the first 18 months, and this is mandated. Okay, meanwhile, up in Carson City, of course, when they get together and have their tax fest and how are we going to suck out more money, they're going to come up with all kinds of taxes in addition to this 15% excise tax. In addition to that, there is a mandated annual licensing fee that ranges from $3,300 to $30,000 depending on the type of license. Now again, this is only the two mandated, the 15% excise tax and this fee for people depending on the type of license they're going to get. It's going to range from $3,300 a year to $30,000 a year. Big money for these government guys. In addition, of course, there's going to be sales tax all along the way. As they grow it, as they sell it, wholesale it to the distributors, to the retailers, to the people, they're going to collect tax all the way. And that's only at the state level, obviously, sales tax and all the rest. At the local level, Nye County will be getting together the commissioners and all the folk that we pay these very nice salaries to, and they're going to say, okay, what kind of cuts are we going to get out of it? And, I'm not trying to be derogatory. Certainly, there is a need for government as it exists to raise income for legitimate programs as it is to pay for the programs. Otherwise, we are going to have people absolutely, it's going to be out of control, I'll put it that way. So under the current system, the way our government and our country runs, there's a legitimate need for government to collect revenue in order to distribute some money to the mass of poor people that have been growing more and more as we've gone on, administration after administration. Whether it be Ronald Reagan's trickle-down economics to whatever you want to call Obama and distribution of wealth, it hasn't happened. It hasn't trickled down and it hasn't been distributed. It's been growing up and up the food chain so that the elites have gotten more and more of the cut of the pie. Meanwhile, the number of homeless, et cetera, has grown. Anyway, let me get back to the marijuana things. Okay, question 2, what would the penalties be? Question 2 permitted the government to enforce or implement policies prohibiting driving or operating a vehicle under the influence of marijuana, selling or giving marijuana to someone under 21, possessing or using marijuana on the grounds of schools or the Nevada Department of Correction, so you can't distribute it or possess it in schools or correctional facilities, or allowing workplaces to ban marijuana use. That's what it says, or allowing workplaces to ban marijuana use. So those are the big no-nos as they exist now. Now, again, what they're going to have to do in Carson City, and I'm not a lawyer, that's why I really was hoping Tom would be here to give his say on it, but the way I understand it, this basic agenda is going to be sent up to the legislatures, who are going to say, okay, let's look at the NRS, what it states now. Here's what's been approved in general terms by question 2, and what NRS changes, additions, whatever amendments are we going to have to make so that the NRS is then changed, and then the district attorneys and the prosecutors and the police all are playing from the same Nevada statute, which of course is very important in the law. And I won't get going on the law. Okay, again, the lines are open. Let's get some questions going. The key thing I wanted to bring out is everything is in place for the first 18 months as far as distributing. The medical marijuana establishment is going to basically do it. The liquor stores are going to be distributing, but it's going to be a very controlled network for the first 18 months. And then it's going to go open up. One of the things I ran across is we get, because we have a population of less than 55,000 in Nye County, we are allowed up to 2 retail marijuana licenses, store licenses. So in the whole county, there's only going to be 2 marijuana store licenses. And in every county except Clark County, which has quite a bit more. I got it here somewhere. Anyway, I'll probably, oh, here it is. Clark County, they're going to get up to 80 retail stores. Washoe County up to 20. And all the other counties, because we're under 55,000, we get up to 2 retail stores. So it's going to be very cozy. Okay, marijuana. Johnny, we got you on the line. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Chuck, great show.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, I'm Johnny Babushka, a friend of the Flagmans. Hey, listen, you're not addressing the elephant in the room. This whole thing about marijuana being legalized and all that is just a smokescreen. They're not talking about hemp. It's all about getting hemp legal. We could do so much if the hemp was. Now, it should be legalized. I mean, what the heck?
Well, it's only been around 10,000 years.
You can do everything with hemp.
It is. It's amazing when you go into that. We did a show on it, and basically that's why it's not allowed to be legal, because it could replace chemicals. It could, replace all the cotton, all the stuff, create incredibly healthy oils and food products. It's almost endless what hemp can do.
Here's the key points. It grows so many times faster than trees. So if you're not for hemp, you're into murdering trees.
Absolutely.
And you can make food out of it. Excellent animal grain. So if you're not for hemp, you're into killing and murdering all the animals. It would cut down on all the animals that are being slaughtered: chickens, cows, pigs. Tremendous benefit there. I mean, the list just goes on endlessly. I can't remember all the incredible things. It's an incredible fuel. You throw it in a wood burner, cut it with a machete, it burns like gangbusters. And as everybody with a motorhome knows, that with a Stirling engine that runs on flame, you can make electricity with it. I mean, and then we're talking about, they're going to legalize marijuana, and you could have, if you had hemp, you could have income, and it just opened all sorts of doors.
Okay, Johnny, we're going to have to go to break. I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Be back with the final segment.